gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Strawhat Sitdown crew in the building. We promote to these other podcasts. We gon' put these people in their feelings when they hear this, and they know that they can't top this. We spit facts and we poppin'. Every time an episode is dropping, we see D3 in the corner. Mister, that's a real G with the green screen in the background. Got him looking like he in a real scene. We got Big Mod in the cut. Always ready with rebuttals, but he bring the knowledge when we in the huddle, so you know the crew is never gonna fumble. And it's YHuss, last but not least. If you ask me, then Cali, mad the captain, make him rally around me. Every Sunday we gon' run deep, and we can't stop until we find out about that one piece. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We are. Who gon' get down? We are. This that Strawhat Sitdown. We are. Who the crew with the fleet? We are. Who gon' piece that one piece? We.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mr. G here today as your host for episode 64 of Strawhat Sitdown. Oof.
God damn.
Let's get it. As you could tell, this is not your usual crew since the captain, Cali Mac, is not here right now. He is off celebrating his sister's graduation, so congratulations to Cali Mac's sister, yo, from all of us. Yes.
Doctor Bound, fire.
Doctor Bound, that shit OD, man. Yo, I know that feeling. My sister's a doctor also, so you know, that's a long ass ceremony, but it's definitely worth it because you know they put in all that work and you want to be there for them. So, in honor of that, we put his picture today is Beppo fangirling over Uta. If you haven't seen Film Red, he was a big Uta fan, so, you know, just wanted to, show a little love to Cali. Yeah. So, with me today, we have our boy, YHuss is next to me. YHuss, what's good, Bubba?
What changed? Yo, I'm up first? Yo. Uh-oh. I don't even know how to be about this. Yo, I'm going to have to act different today. No. Super hype. You know, I just shoot the shit with the boys. Have a good episode.
Yes. Next, we got your boy, Strawhat Mod. What's good, bro?
What is good, y'all? Hey, YHuss. Now that you got that position, you might have to perform a mutiny on Cali.
It would be fitting for One Piece. And for your last but not least today, D3 King. What's good, bro?
What's good, bro? I'm chilling. I'm just here to hate on the live action.
Ooh, we got everything covered because I'm all about that positivity with the live action. I'm hopeful. That's more like it. So to actually start off today, we're going to you guys want to talk about the official release of the manga, right? Because the manga chapter 1082 came out today. Not last week it was leaked, but the official came out, and I wasn't sure. Were there any big translation
I was
differences?
There's one, but I think we should start with what you thought about the chapter, unless you want the official. Yeah, actually, the official probably better. Sorry. So the big change was the line that Hina says to Suru and Garp. Suru and Sengoku about Garp's whereabouts. She says in the TCB, she said he teamed up with Sword to save Kobe, and obviously we thought like teamed up is kind of suggestive, almost that he's not part of it. But like we said, we actually kind of guessed what the official would say, and the official says I think he went with Sword. So although that's still a little bit of a separation, it's not as much as teamed up with.
Okay.
So yeah, there you go.
This kind of when I saw that, it kind of like it made me realize that kind of debunks what we were saying in one of our episodes that we thought Garp started Sword, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's clearly stating that he's not with them, but he's teaming up with them or going with them.
Yeah, so TCB was really suggestive.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. And we really didn't know because, like we said before, not that, I love TCB, we respect TCB.
Of course.
Some things was just a little bit murky, to say the least, have been in the past couple of chapters, so we didn't know what that would mean, but I think it's safe to say that the implication, while it's not as strong, it's still kind of just indicative that like Garp is just not with Sword.
Yeah, separate from it, for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think because we still have not seen like that whatchamacallit, the title box,
Yeah.
the title box for Garp or anything like that.
Stating that, yeah. No, you're right.
So yeah, I just don't think we're going to get that for Garp in the same sense. So because why would Oda do it if we already know who Garp is, you know? Like, so it's like if Oda in his head is like, nah, Garp is not a part of Sword. This is who he is. Y'all seen him since Water 7. That's Garp. Like, so why would he put a title, you know? So
yeah, so further driving that, like we shouldn't be as sure as things of Garp as we think. But yeah, I missed it. So beyond that, what did you think about the chapter in general, man? A lot of talking happened.
Ooh, yeah, no. So like, I did like how you said that this chapter was the sit down for all the crews but the Straw Hats, and you know, like the Marines. Then we have the Cross Guild, right? And that was, and also the Revolutionary Army. So the shit with the Marines, yeah, you know, I'm not surprised that they have no idea that Garp had left already, and they're just finding that out. And also T-Bone being dead, that you know, I thought that was a pretty big one. I did enjoy T-Bone in I want to say what, Ennis Lobby.
Yes,
right?
Thank you.
Yeah. One of the few Marines that I was like, okay, this is actually the definition of a Marine, like what they should be, right? And you know, seeing how, well, we don't really see how he died, but the fact that he died because of the whole it's an old dude that killed him,
yeah,
if I'm not mistaken. You know, he wants to do it for his family. I mean, I don't blame him, but at the same time, I feel like T-Bone just probably took it, or I don't know, you know. So where did the Marines go from here? That's the question.
Yeah.
You know, and he was a vice admiral, if I'm not mistaken, right?
He was, yeah.
Which is that's a big position. So shit. And then yeah, man, and then like the whole thing with Buggy wanting to go for the One Piece now. Well, we knew that was gonna be. I had a feeling that was gonna be the case because they showed the other like top Yonkos making moves already towards that goal. Mm-hmm. So finally, him putting his name in the hat, you know, per se, and it's like, let's do it, let's go for it. It was pretty cool. It's different from Buggy, but it shows that he has some ambition at least, and he definitely had a lot of funny ass panels in this chapter, bro. He definitely did.
Yeah, Crocodile Mihawk getting super mad. That was sick to see.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and what do you think about Sabo and the Revolutionaries?
Oh, okay. So, I know we mentioned during the Lucia chapter, we had mentioned that either Sabo was on the island or he was on a ship that was near the island and he saw what happened. So I'm glad that was the case. I don't know. Were you guys a little sad to see Sabo already, or what do you guys think?
Him coming back was fine, but his introduction was very underwhelming.
Very lackluster, right? That's what I thought.
It was just like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's just like, you know, teased to be dead for so many chapters for him to come back like, what's up, guys?
Like, hey.
Walked in like a guest character in my sitcom, like nothing just happened.
And then it was like, oh,
yeah,
you got the track.
Showed up.
I think it's fine personally because the explanation is the out for him coming back so casually is that, oh nah, I wasn't there, I was just on the ship when all that went down. But,
that's fair. Like, I mean,
and also people like were saying, oh, like it kind of looks like he's not really on the island, so it's not like it was out of nowhere. It's not like he just.
It's true.
Not like I heard this before, right? So it's not like it came out of nowhere. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
No, that's true.
Yeah. I think because you know, I don't think anyone here or anyone in the One Piece community in general thought that Sabo was dead, right? Like
no,
we just thought.
I was hoping he was teleported. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that whole thing was the case, but that's not. So you know.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, well, if he's not dead, Oda wouldn't kill off such an important character like this, and it's just like, well, maybe he narrowly got away last second, or maybe like you said, Mr. the Island teleported away. I remember that was part of one of my theories
Yeah,
a while ago.
I still think
and
that is the case.
Potentially, honestly, I still think it could potentially still be the case.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the whole rocks incident with God Valley, and that got wiped off, quote unquote, wiped off the map or whatever. But yeah, so no one thought that Sabo was dead. We just didn't know how he escaped. But you know, Oda was saying, and some of the community members said, like, "Oh no, he was just never there in the first place." So it's just like,
yeah, like we saw it coming. Yeah, it did feel abrupt, I'm sure, for a lot.
That's true. I mean, I feel like it's also just like all of us with the expectations. We were like, "Oh fuck, what the fuck just happened to Sabo?" And then, I mean, they did make it seem like he was like, because the whole the static in the radio when they were talking and shit like that. That's just gonna go crazy in the anime.
Right, and the Gorosei,
the beam fell from the sky, bro. We kind of want more from that, right?
Of course,
yeah, and the Gorosei as well. Like the because where's the Gorosei saying like, "Oh, Sabo's on the island," right?
Yeah, facts. And then
more government incompetence, by the way.
Yeah. And that's the story of One Piece right there, bro. The incompetence of the government, bro. Like, it goes to show you. And then
now that we're past break week, I hope he comes back to it next chapter. I don't hope if he leaves Sabo's conversation talking about Emu, bro.
Yeah, no, I was just about to ask and say, say that like I hope we go back to this because there's no break next week, so. You know, well, I mean, we're on a break for us because of the leak, but officially there's no break next week. So, like you said, I hope we do get to see the explanation of what exactly happened in Reverie. Like, and it'd be sick. It could be a heavy flashback chapter.
Yeah, or we'll go right back to Egghead.
Or right back. That's true. So,
yeah,
you know, we'll see what happens. Oh, only the goat knows, and you know, we'll leave that to Oda. We'll leave it to Oda.
Facts.
All right, so. That was a quick little, recap of the chapter this week and some changes with the official. Also this week that released, we have a letter from Oda, about the Netflix live action series. So, I feel like I shouldn't read it. It's a lot. Pretty much, it's saying like, he's excited for everyone to see it. They've been doing this since 2016, but they're not going to launch. That Netflix promised him that they won't launch until he's satisfied, right? And what do you guys think about that?
I am super
Hey.
like, and it's like this is the only from my recent memory, this is like the only time where like the writer or the author of a manga has such direct ties to a live action. So I'm very, very happy. Now, obviously, it could still be shit. Of course. Oda could potentially have fucked it up, but
no. I don't think it would be Oda. It'd be Netflix. All right, let's keep it a buck.
Okay, fair enough. But like, if he's has such a, but the thing is, if they're
you're right.
If they're not going to release it until Oda's satisfied, that means that Oda is like, he's the one that's like, okay. He may not even be necessarily the director, but he's spearheading the vision.
No, that's true.
Go ahead.
So I was gonna say, because there was rumors recently, right, that there was a test watch. They watched the first episode. People watched the first episode of the pilot, and they said that it was really bad. Like the pacing, the story, like the CGI, all of it wasn't that good. But then people came out saying that was all lies. But I'm starting to think that might not actually have been the case, and that's why they made this letter, and then Oda saw it, and he's like, no, we're gonna do this right, so.
Yeah, but, I mean,
why I would be a bit like skeptic of that is just that like a lot goes into this kind of thing.
It does. It
They
does.
work
It
on it in
does.
2016, and just now these watchers come out and say unless that watch thing happened like a
A
while
while ago, and then
yeah,
just word is coming out now. Yeah.
Like, maybe that could be the case, but I think a lot like you said about like trusting Oda and his vision, and I actually was kind of reminded about the importance of this kind of thing by what he was saying. I think he mentioned that it's an introduction to a way different audience.
Yes.
Because someone recently pointed out to me, I think I read it, that like because when you play a game or something and the live action like the movie version is trash to you, right? It's because it's not for you.
No.
It's for people who wouldn't play a game but would watch a movie.
Yes.
Right.
Facts.
So like I realized that it's not like it's such a big thing for Oda because this is his ability, not even just in terms of marketing or money, but just to introduce his work and his love for a new media and a new type of viewer. So I think there's going to be a lot of care put into it. And I just want to say like I feel like that's an important perspective to realize, is that we should have a bit of an open mind for it, as it's not completely for people like us who would have read the manga anyway.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, I completely understand. It's not for like the manga readers. I just my hopes are still just down here because of every live action. Most of them have just
We've been burned before. No, did you read
it's
D3?
been really, really bad. So even though I'm not the target audience, I still have expectations because I still know what a live action show should be like.
Mm-hmm. And you should have expectations, bro. We want quality, and we hold Oda to a certain standard for sure. I'm still with that.
And especially if he has direct influence on it. If it's ass,
then that is a direct
That's even
indication.
worse.
Yeah, no, that's true. And then it would give a bad look to One Piece. And that's not what we want. As much as we want the word to spread, but we want everyone to know how good it is. That fucking the live action being trash like Dragon Ball Evolution.
Boy, I was just about to say that. I was about to say, like, even though this, like, even if we are not, like, necessarily the target audience, which I still think Oda will put nods to stuff that, like, obviously manga readers will understand and can appreciate. But even so, Dragon Ball Evolution was just so past the
mark. Bro, that
like,
shit was.
Like, even if you never watched Dragon Ball before, I don't see how you can find that good. Like,
it was just bad, bro.
No, it was.
Avatar,
The Last Airbender. Oof.
Yeah.
And that makes me think a little bit about, so like even for Oda, live action might have some difficulties adapting like
certain things,
anime and stuff. Yeah, like it might just be hard to visualize and make it seem like realistic, but still have the supernatural feel. So like it's gonna be a hurdle. It's gonna be a challenge for Oda.
It is.
What?
Or like even then on like the basic elements of just like CG, like that alone can make a show just look terrible. Like depending on how they do it with like Luffy's fruit or just like similar characters.
That's facts.
It's just a lot could go wrong. Like
I think
to do something like this.
It is, man.
It is. But at least it's not a movie. I kind of like that it's an episode because there's more resources are put into like each episode and whatnot.
Yeah.
Even then, it's
exactly.
like 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, 8 episodes. Which
supposed to get all of East Blue in 8 episodes, right? Something like that.
I mean,
do
we don't know.
that?
We don't know that. We don't know. They haven't
I
said.
thought we were getting like okay, might be tripping, but even then, still, it'll be kind of hard to get to a respectable point in One Piece in 8 episodes worth of.
Well, I know for a fact I feel like it might just end at the end of Arlong. Like honestly, because
Did they cast Smoker? Because that's Grand Line, right?
Yeah, I don't think
It's
they
like-
have.
it's like,
I don't-
That's the beginning of Grand Line.
Yeah, that's like a
That's
reverse
like
line.
because Loketown,
Yep.
which technically still is East Blue, but it's
Yeah,
like
I
that
was thinking like
in-
reverse mountain basically. So I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Because that's because if it's the end of East Blue, it's probably like there, right? Like
Yeah.
beginning of the Grand Line.
Ooh, it'd be a pretty good ending for the season. Them going up Reverse Mountain.
Yeah, when they put their foot on the boot, dude.
Yeah.
Their foot on the barrel.
And then
That's my dream.
then that's it. That's the end of season 1. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
the fire spot to end it.
I don't know from
Go
what
ahead.
I've seen with like because I follow like the cast on like Instagram and shit like that, and they seem like friends. Fucking, we even got YHuss in there, yo. Fucking like shit.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like him, like Usopp's actor and Luffy's actor, they hung out. They went. I think one went to fucking Mexico because Luffy's from Mexico. So like you see them hanging out and like they're really getting along. So I feel like that camaraderie if that shows in the show, that'd be awesome to see. Like, you know, really like, and that could bring people like to like, oh shit, this was pretty cool. The next thing you know, they're like, hey, damn, 8 episodes. I kind of want more. Next thing you know, they find the fucking anime right on Netflix. Because I believe they got like 2 or 3 seasons, which is like 100 or so episodes each season of One Piece on Netflix already. So, you know,
Yeah.
the more One Piece, the better, bro. That's how I see it. Because like, even right now, France is petitioning for the premiere episode of Gear 5 to be in theaters. Yo, imagine that. That'd be fucking...
That would be crazy.
Crazy, dude.
That would be insane.
That's a pre-order ticket, bro. That's a pre-order ticket.
That's just sick.
Because everyone's saying how, like, the recent episode today with... last night with Sanji was...
Oh, it was ridiculous.
Ridiculous, yeah. I haven't seen it, so... Oh, you saw it? Word.
Oh my god, bro.
So
I had to watch it.
The quality, would you say that's movie quality?
It blows any anime movie I've seen out of the water.
What? Oh, I gotta see it.
Like-
I gotta see it.
Like the fine detail on everything is just fucking crazy. Like let alone down to the hairs, you can see like the muscle movements and like
Oh,
his arm
shit.
when he moves his arm. Like it's insane.
Nah, I gotta...
This thing I real for real, bro.
And see, this
I gotta
is-
catch
and-
up
and-
now.
And see, this is what Toei Animation could be on if their shit wasn't like always, fucked up by business models and policies and shit.
Facts.
But not to deviate.
That's for another discussion. On
Right. But it just makes me mad that we only get episodes like that once a blue moon.
Well, I mean, I will say this though: Toei has been doing very well since Wano started. So,
overall,
and,
yeah.
And I honestly do not believe them reverting back. I think they're only just gonna go up from here because this is gonna be entering the ending of the series. Think about it, guys. I was gonna say, think about it like this: One Piece is like the only ongoing anime series that's coming out weekly for the most part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and all these other series now they get to have their seasons, so like they get to have their time and their resources build up and use and really like flesh it out, like Jujutsu Kaisen. What else? Hell's Paradise, like all the Chainsaw Man, all these new series look fucking fantastic. How is One Piece supposed to keep up with the old animation? That's why they had to we gotta amp it up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I was just about to say that. I think that with these newer animes and stuff that's coming out, I think it makes sense for them to keep it going like this, since, like you just said, all these animations and new art styles is kind of crazy now. So, this is a good way to keep One Piece relevant. But back to the live action, I was going to say that even though it's 8 episodes, I think that they can definitely still manage to cramp all of East Blue into 8 episodes. If you think about it, it's just okay, the manga and the anime and stuff. There's some filler points that I think that they can just simply scrap or rearrange to look different.
Facts.
And, because obviously it's not going to be a 1-to-1. It's going to be.
And they do like anime versions of episode of East Blue and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because it's proof that they have the formula for how to cut things down.
That's true.
Right, exactly.
That's true.
Exactly.
Isn't the East Blue like an hour and a half movie?
Or some shit.
It's like an hour and a half.
That's probably a lot of cutting, to be fair.
But I mean that's what you just need the main points, and then and this is going to be 8 episodes. So
8 episodes,
right.
And not even just regular 20 minutes. Probably going to be 40 now.
Probably like 45.
Yeah. Right. So I have confidence that they can cram East Blue into 8 episodes. They will still get some filler content. They'll just, like I said, it's just going to be rearranged to fit the live spectrum of it. A more realistic approach, maybe a little bit here and there. I remember hearing when people were speculating about it. I think even we were talking about it, that it could even have a more serious tone, like a more of a Pirates of the Caribbean style approach or whatever. Because I think One Piece, it's in its anime manga form, it's like a lot more cartoony at first and all that stuff. I don't know, like I wouldn't put it past them if they wanted to like kind of ditch that approach to it not wholeheartedly, but somewhat, and like trade it in for like a little bit more of a realistic piratey tone.
Maybe it really depends on what like Oda envisions as what's appropriate for the audience. You know what I mean? Like, does he think that comedy won't vibe with more Western audiences? You know what I mean? It really has to come from that. You know, I don't know what he fucking thinks, but hopefully there's a lot of like slapstick stuff too. I definitely want to be laughing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's also a clown, so
he is a clown, dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you just gotta be careful with it, because especially American audiences, when we see the slapstick humor, I don't know what it is about slapstick humor on the big screen, but when it's on the big screen, it comes off way more corny.
Yeah.
Like,
back, bro.
So Oda would definitely have to either a heavy line. Like, he would have to understand, like, okay, what passes as. But Oda also gets his material from One Piece from like other films and stuff, just like the Admirals and like the actors and other TV shows. So hopefully, I'm praying that Oda understands what passes as like good humor for like especially Western audiences, because he said in the letter that this is his he feels like this is his last chance to
really push it, like really just show it to the world.
That was crazy to read, by the way.
It is.
Yeah, that was crazy. It kind of gutted my heart a little bit to hear that, because it's just like Oda's saying, like, I'm getting up there in age, and I feel like this is the last time I could push One Piece to the world. I'm like, damn, Oda, wait.
I know, dude. Yo,
wait. It don't have to. It don't have to be like that.
But I appreciate the honesty though, because like we all know that he's had some health issues, right? And we all know he wants to spend time with his family, and he's been doing this for a long time. And I remember I saw it on Twitter recently. I forgot who. One of the accounts quoted one of what something that Oda said, and he was envious of, I believe, the creator of Naruto. Kishimoto, because he was able to have walks with his kid, and Oda's like, damn, like I want to do that, but he's like, but I gotta finish what I've started, and that's something that we gotta appreciate and thank Oda gratefully, because this story that he's created, this fucking beautiful masterpiece, like has touched all of our lives, so many people, like more than we know, and like thank you, because the more like it's crazy how much time he's put into this kid, and he's still going.
Trying to make me cry at 1 p.m. is dastard.
Shit, yo, man, that's just that's just how Oda does, bro. Shit, man, I fucking love you, Oda. As you get older, you start realizing, I get sad seeing my parents get older and my grandparents get older, and I understand where he's coming from, because he's realizing that he's like, fuck, like this is it, like this is my legacy. And something like fucking LeBron James going off yesterday, the day that his son announces his where he's going to college, like he went off in the playoffs, like it's just that pride, and that that you want to leave something that's impactful to the world and to your family and stuff like that. And Oda's done that to every one of us with fucking One Piece.
And that gravity, like that meaning is wild. Like that's what I was saying. Like reading that part of the letter was like, yeah, I got a lot of faith in him, because he doesn't want to fuck up something of this gravity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But although, and again, D3 Spittin', it's an ambitious thing. It's had a lot of hurdles and challenges.
Facts.
So got to keep an open, skeptic mind. But
I'm not. Words. I'll preface, like, I'm not hating on it, praying on its downfall or nothing like that. I'm just going into it with a very cautious mindset. I don't want to get my hopes up to here, and then just get shit on.
Yeah, because like we've said, it's happened before. Because Avatar: The Last Airbender, that day was terrible for me. Let me tell you, that was a bad day.
And I think it could be a genre thing. Maybe live action isn't fit for anime. You know what I mean? But At the end of the day, what did Soga King say to Robin, bro? Trust in Oda. I know
Trust
he
in
said Luffy,
Oda.
and it was Oda this time, you know?
Yes.
And it's funny too because we all be getting these hopes up for all these different live actions. The Bleach live, I think the Bleach live action was okay-ish.
I remember watching it. Yeah, it
wasn't bad. I thought it wasn't bad.
It wasn't like. I think that was actually, and it's crazy because it was like mediocre to okay-ish at best. And that was like that's the highlight of our live action adaptations. That's kind of wild. The Cowboy Bebop one did not go well.
I mean, I enjoyed it though. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't hate it. I do think it's just that because we've been burned so many times as a community with live actions, we just immediately go to hate and like, nah, this shit's trash.
Right.
But I mean, like, we have the justification. We have like the Death Note, like the Japanese Death Note, actually got the 3 movies. It was actually really good, really well done.
I watched it.
The fucking American one, complete doo-doo.
So bad.
With the exception as William Dafoe as Ryuk. He was fantastic. But that was
everyone was saying that. Like the Ryuk was amazing.
You got William Dafoe, the fucking Green Goblin. Like the Green Goblin to be in an anime movie as Ryuk, and he nailed it. And they shit the bed with that movie. Because that movie, honestly, Death Note is an OD movie, and I fucked it up so bad.
Yeah, the Japanese one was because like you about to shit on it, and I'm like, wait, the Japanese one was good, but then I realized there's a new one. I completely forgot.
Yes.
See, I will say that's where I could see this is random, but I could see the potential for One Piece maybe not doing good with the manga readers, but doing good with the casual audience because my mom and her friends, she watched the Death Note movie.
Oh, did she like it?
All her friends enjoyed it.
Shit! Okay.
Interesting.
I thought it was terrible.
No, but bro, that's the silver lining, bro. That's the
That's the thing. The cast looked at it and thought it was really, really interesting because it was this is the thing that I think us as anime fans have to realize. Like, to the average person, the concepts they're seeing in these live action adaptations is stuff that they haven't experienced before.
Yeah, facts. And we have facts.
It's new to them. The concepts that they see are like cool and unique. But to us, it's like, oh, we grew up with this. This is the shit that we know. So our bar is here.
Facts.
But the average person that watches these things has no bar because they're going into it with an empty mindset. They don't know what to look for, what to expect. They have no standards. And so like, for like the Death Note thing, I thought it was dog shit. I watched it with my friends and we laughed the entire time just how bad it was.
Bro,
but my
mom
so watched it like 2 days later and was like, "Oh, that was one of the coolest shit ever." And then went to the point where she loved Death Note for a minute. It even got her to watch the actual anime.
No, that's hype, dude. That's hype though.
The same thing happened with me actually, with a person that never watched Death Note a day in their lives.
Okay.
Watched the movie and was so like. They weren't like, oh, the movie was like amazing. They weren't doing all that, but it got them interested enough to where they wanted to check out the anime and they liked it. And I'm like,
that's hype.
And I think that's why I say like my expectations for myself are low, but I'm not gonna be like, I think the right word is cynical. Like cynical enough to where I'm gonna think it's gonna be just absolutely terrible. Yeah. Because it's not going to be for me. I can already tell you that because I hate live action adaptations. But for something like my friends want to get into One Piece, but they're intimidated by the episode count. They
of course.
Maybe watch that to inspire them to watch the actual anime. Like
bro,
it can just be a stepping stone. It doesn't have to be the culmination of 20 years of media put into 8 episodes.
Facts. No, facts.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're spitting.
And that's what Oda and I think we're all they're all banking on, like. Because, damn, I believe there's like 300 or 200 episodes of One Piece out already on Netflix, and that's good enough that bingers will be like, oh, that's not too much. You know what I mean? Like 200, I'll get through it like that. It's a 20-minute episode because we know fucking One Piece with the recaps and shit like that. So like. You're not actually sitting there for half an hour. You could get 3 episodes in an hour if you wanted to.
And what do we always say when talking about One Piece, right? Like when we talk about the moments that hooked us, bro, everyone was like no one got past Arlong. Like
Bro.
everyone, if it didn't happen by Baratie, it happened at Nami's backstory.
That's what I tell people. If you can make it to Arlong Park,
That's it.
and you don't like the show, then it's
Then
not.
that's not for you. That's it. No, facts.
Unfortunately, I do.
And that's probably where I would say the show is gonna get up to. Probably.
So
around
Yeah.
Arlong Park.
they cast Arlong, so we know.
They
it's
cast it
gonna
out. It's getting up to there.
So it's getting up to Arlong Park.
I
So,
would
yeah, it's the perfect
honestly,
length.
I would honestly stretch that though to where if you make it to Alabasta and
Well, but that's
and-
even later though, because you have. That's when you have Chopper, and by that point you
Yeah,
already have
but
Chopper's backstory. Chopper's backstory catches mad people off guard.
Average person isn't gonna watch 120
No,
episodes.
no.
I was gonna say like it's like a reasonable expectation.
I believe.
You
I
gave it a
believe.
try.
I believe.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just that like maybe I don't know if they tricked themselves into, but I've seen people say like, oh, it was Alabasta that got me hooked onto One Piece or stuff like that. Like I've seen that,
No,
and it's
agreed.
just like I don't know. And maybe it's just like okay, well. That's a lot of episodes to watch, and then boom, you're now hooked. So it's
But
like,
I think that you might misinterpret what I mean by hooked, right? Like they could have seen something else in the earlier parts of the show that made them want to keep watching, but Alabasta could have been what solidified them as like, hey, I'm gonna commit to the full grind.
I'm
Because
locked in.
a lot of people watch One Piece. Like this is a thing that I've noticed a lot of my friends. They'll watch One Piece up to a point, and then they'll get distracted with their day to day.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, oh, well, I forgot to go watch the show, and now I'm 8,000 episodes behind.
Yeah.
But
Right,
And then it's daunting, you know.
Yeah, it's really daunting. So like Alabasta could be the thing for them where it's like, well, I really need to see what happens now. You know, Crocodile was that nigga. The war was cool. Like you know, I think it's more along the lines of it cements them that the show is binge worthy versus just doing something that I'm gonna watch 2 episodes a day and see how it goes.
yeah, that could be the case. Because
I agree with you, Marco. Like,
honestly,
in terms of like what's the real point that if you had unlimited episodes to watch, like I definitely say like Alabasta is where if you are really not here, GG's, bro.
Yeah,
but a real expectation, like a real expectation for a new fan, I agree with you. That makes sense.
I think that, like, because I know for me, I remember, like, you know, I think I said this when we first started the podcast, but, like, Baratie, that was, like...
I was going to bring that, because I remember you said that.
Yeah.
Was...
Baratie, which is funny, because I don't think that's what most people have as their, like, hook, but, like, honestly, like, the hook, to me, could even date even earlier, because, like, I remember, the dog scene with Luffy and the dog and stuff, and Nami screaming like, you know, saying like pirates are trash and Luffy going whatever. I thought that was like, you know, a really strong moment. And then like the Shanks with the gun moment and Lucky Root, like that shit all was hype to me. So I don't know.
I mean, you a fan though. You a fan though. You know, but that like some of those moments would be like cool, but not like, damn, that was fucking OD.
Right.
Like,
so maybe Baratie. Yeah, so maybe
it's possible.
My hook on point where I'm like, okay, dog, this is the show that's bench worthy right here. Like
for me personally, I was kind of like, I think the moment where I was like, okay, this show is kind of cool, was Zoro Mihawk. Everything up until before that, I was bored. Okay,
that's fair.
Like,
that's how my boy right now. He's at Baratie, and he was like, I'm a little bored with with One Piece, but he got up to like that Mihawk Zoro fight, and he's like, "Ooh, that shit was pretty dope."
Yeah, because I thought Sanji's backstory was cool.
Yeah,
like it wasn't anything enough to make me like, "Oh my god, I love this show." But like the Mihawk fight, and then we'll fight. But the Mihawk fight, and then Arlong Park was just what made me love the show.
Yeah,
and I feel like I said, that's the bar. Like if you can get to there and you're like, it's okay.
If that Luffy Nami moment don't hit you, if that don't hit you,
Nami's head, and you're just not like, oh my god, this is the coolest nigga ever.
No.
Like, you just don't need to watch this.
Yeah,
shit.
And then like
it's
the
not meant for you.
Like with the Arlong with the walk to Arlong Park, like
yes,
if you're watching
the whole crew, bro,
legendary.
The whole crew, like even Usopp, and we knew Usopp was a coward. And
Usopp looks cold with the goggles.
He was cold, son. They were bro.
I can't wait for this. If this live action must have that moment.
They
better.
They will have it.
They will. They will.
Hit as hard.
They're not missing that. And now, damn, bro, the fact that you brought up the dog, I'm like, they're definitely gonna have a dog episode, bro.
Yeah,
they're definitely.
I feel like that's a big thing for like Western viewers. Like, the
the animal shit. Oh, dude, the dog's gonna kill. People are gonna be like, Fuck yo, they're gonna love it because of the dog, bro. That's gonna be like the MVP of the season. Like, yeah, damn, we talked a lot about the fucking live action. I love it.
But
This
yeah,
is a good
like,
conversation. Oh, sorry, DJ, go ahead.
Oh no, you're good. I'm just. Damn, I thought I was gonna be a hater for this shit the whole time.
I thought so too. No, we talked you through it, bro. We talked you through it. We just gotta talk about it, bro. It's all about communication, man. That's it.
And honestly, you brought good points too.
No, facts.
Just why to be a little bit,
That's what I'm saying. It's
not even
important to have
skeptical,
that.
but like just pump your brakes type thing.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not the type of nigga where I'm just like, oh, this shit sucks, everything sucks. I'm trying to be logical about it, and this is the kind of thing where like I'm trying to be logical about it, but it's also like my favorite show. So if it sucks, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna be upset.
Right.
But like y'all was saying, you know,
I might not even be the target audience.
Exactly.
So
I'm not.
I can't even be mad if it's bad.
Can't even be mad because what if like one day like my mom is like, oh, I saw the net, you know, I know you love One Piece and I saw they had the live action show. It was only 8 episodes. So I'm gonna try it out. So I could definitely see it happening one day because my mom loved Avatar: The Last Airbender, but like she's like I don't know.
60 animated episodes.
Yeah, 60 animated episodes and then subbed, and then, you know, they were like, I was like, you guys watch subbed in Spanish? What do you mean? Whatever, you know, like.
And that's the thing, that the live actions are a good gateway into anime. Because like I said before, that made my mom watch Death Note, and then that made my mom watch My Hero. And then
Ooh.
My mom watched One Piece with me up to when Chopper got in the crew.
Ooh, okay.
And honestly, I can push the same thing because I remember like I was trying to explain One Piece to my grandmother, and she's because she was tuning into our podcast episode. When we did,
yo, shout out to my granny, yo. Hey,
shout outs to my grandmother. She's listening because sometimes she tunes in, but she was listening to our Jeopardy game because she loves her a good Jeopardy game.
Okay, we gotta do another one. We gotta do another one.
Yeah.
But we gotta get some other contestants because I know YHuss
She
gonna
loves
win.
a good Jeopardy game, so she tuned in that episode, and she said like even though I couldn't keep up with the exact answers, I could tell like which ones were like good questions and all yada yada yada. So I was explaining One Piece to her in general, and she said that sounds interesting and stuff. But like, obviously, there's like a gateway barrier to getting into that with the like 1,000+ episodes. So when this comes out, I'm gonna have her watch that and see if she likes it, and if she enjoys it, maybe she'll check out the anime. And
Facts,
I got other friends like that too, where I can just be like, hey. Yeah, watch the live action, and maybe they like it. Maybe who knows?
That's the thing. Like we have to be honest with ourselves. We're all fucking weebs, bro. Like,
We all
true.
I'm wearing a Frankie shirt and a Luffy, like we weeb it.
I got a fucking Part 5 shirt on. Like I'm a fucking weeb.
Right.
But that's the thing we have to realize. Is like we like anime more than the average person. Everybody's gonna sit down and watch this. So if the bar is like set really low for somebody to get into something like One Piece, then it makes it more approachable. Then, because even when I started the show, I just mentally had this wall of just, oh my god, 1,000 episodes I have to climb over to even remotely know what's going on. But it's a good gateway.
Yeah, oh, it is.
And I think there's something interesting that you said about like how you can't be mad if you don't fuck with it. I still think it's like it's kind of fair to want to fuck with it, even if it still has value as like a gateway. I still think it's fair to be like, dude, I want to enjoy something One Piece related. So I hope Oda does that though. I feel like we can't say that if it even like I feel like he doesn't want to leave us out too. You know what I mean? So no. I hope it's there for everyone to enjoy.
I mean, I would hope so, but at the end of the day, even if it's not there for someone for like me and you to enjoy, we have so much more content outside of just the live action to look forward to.
Right.
We have the manga, we have the anime, we have the games, the figures, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Exactly.
But I will say that I do appreciate that Oda really cares for his other audience. You know, not just Japan. Like he cares for his Western audience, and he's like, I really want y'all to love this shit too. Like because not everyone is on board because everyone's still stuck on Dragon Ball.
And they know the burn. Like
you said a great point earlier about how he gets it from like watching different movies and stuff like that, like the Admiral's image. One Piece is maybe the work that has the most that I've seen that has the most inspiration from different places around the world.
It's littered with world reference.
Different
beautiful.
Religious subtext, and different themes about different things about the world. So he's a guy that clearly has a lot of history knowledge, you know, a lot of cultural knowledge, and like
the fact that he
One
even
Piece showcases that.
Right, the fact that he even like knew, I was surprised when he said that Gear 5th was basically inspired by Tom and Jerry.
Yep.
I was like, what?
Yep.
Yup.
What?
But,
Tom and Jerry?
when we
Like-
first saw it, though, that's immediately what all of us thought, though. Like, I mean, at least that's what I thought. I was like, bro, I thought Tom and Jerry, thought Looney Tunes. I was like,
Looney
yo,
Tunes,
this shit
yeah.
was so,
Right.
like... I was
And
like,
then he said, like, you know, he even though he loves his battle shonens and he loves like battles and all that other stuff, he kind of misses the time where you know where the loony aspect or the hysterical aspect, the gag,
yes.
the gag, the slap stick stuff, you know, was a part of like fighting and stuff like that.
Not just part of fighting, but just part of everyday media, bro. Because remember growing up, that shit was always on, bro.
Yeah, always.
Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, fucking Tiny Toons, Baby Toons, like all that shit, like all that shit, like growing up was there. So like I feel Oda on that, like, you know, because now everything is like super serious, you know, like.
Right, and you know what's funny? I remember when Gear 5th came out and everybody was complaining about Gear 5th,
I
saying
loved
that
it, bro.
like, yeah, like there were people like us who loved it, but there were people who absolutely. I remember seeing rant. I was just on YouTube the other day, and I saw a rant from like 9 months ago, or 10 months ago, whatever the Gear 5th happened, or 12 months.
Yeah, I think it was like literally a year ago. Like,
yeah. Where like people were literally ranting about how bad Gear 5th is as a concept because like we had all this like and which I understood where they're coming from. The tone, it takes you out of the tone because you know Gear 5th just went from like second gear, third gear, fourth gear, all serious like. And even though it was a little bit goofy on some aspects with fourth gear, it still didn't take you out the tone where they.
But it was serious. You're right.
It takes you completely out of it, which I understood. But but for me, I thought this was great. Still.
I thought it was perfect. I felt like it went back to Luffy's roots as who he is as a character. He's always been a goofy motherfucker, bro. So.
And it's not like he can't be serious. Look at the very end of the fight with Kaido, like where he talks about the world he wants to make. Like that's some serious shit. Where like everyone can eat whatever. Like it's not like like he can't be serious. And remember, you guys remember, when I was before Luffy went Gear 4, before the end of that fight, I was the one saying like I kind of want Luffy to be more serious, like he was a Doflamingo. And then he went Gear 4 and then Gear 5, and I was like having a great time. I love Gear 5. So. Yeah. Dude, even me saying that, and I was still fucking with it. So yeah,
YHuss, even before the pod, you even mentioned it, right? Like you saw Luffy do one of the moves that he did to Gear 5 against Kaido previously as a kid, right? Yeah.
I'll send a picture to you guys can see it. Actually, it's in the Discord if you guys want to see it. D3 and Mod.
Oh yeah, that's not earlier.
Yeah. But
yeah. So I just sent it right now again. So like that picture from the Ace Sabo Luffy flashback where he fucks up the punch at the Gun pistol, like that's the movie that versus Kaido when he punched him through his face in Gear 5.
Yeah.
Send that to the Twitter.
Yeah, I got it. You can put it on the stream.
Yeah.
I'll send it to the Strawhat Sitdown. So yeah, if you guys remember the chapter when Luffy, the second Gear 5 chapter, I think he punched him through his face. And that spin was the exact spin, so like like I said, it brings him to his roots in like a very specific way. So
right, and on top of that, to make it tie in together with like what he's done with bringing up the point of like Oda's cultural experience with like the rest of the world and stuff. He also said, you know, that he takes inspiration from Akira Toriyama from Dragon Ball as well, right? Yeah. Well, early Dragon Ball, you know. If anyone ever watched the original Dragon Ball, was very slapstick heavy as well.
Very. So, bro, honestly, my favorite Dragon Ball series is actually Dragon Ball. To me, I feel like it had like great martial art, like choreography, and then the humor was just awesome. Like it was just, you know. But that's just me personally. So.
That's from the Dragon Ball podcast.
Yeah, but yeah, so I'm pretty confident because Oda said that, you know, he wants to bring this to a Western audience, that I do think he wants to make this for us too. Because honestly, if he didn't care, if he really didn't care and he only is trying to grab a Western audience
or
and not care like
for
the bag or whatever, or just to get people to watch the anime and just like whatever, he would not care at all about the ethnicities of each individual of the main cast, Which he said in the SBS, because I think he said like he answered someone's question like if they were in real life, where would they be from? And he literally like Luffy is Brazilian, Usopp is like what African or African American, something like that, and then like Zoro Japanese, etc.
Sanji's French.
And he's literally like hiring people from said regions, like or like people that at least were born or come from or have an ethnic background like that. So I think that's a fine-tuned detail that is for definitely manga/anime readers, people who keep up with One Piece. Because if he didn't care, he just would have just done a blanket state just a straight up casting,
like all Americans, like
or something else crazy, and then we'll just have Avatar: Last Airbender 2.0 type thing.
And I think proof of like the fact that I feel like the reason I'm optimistic is that like that it will be us is like because we just love One Piece, right? And we love like the big things about it and little things. And clearly, like Mod's saying right now, he wants to really hone in on what makes One Piece One Piece. Which to me a big part of it is the cultural aspect, and like they go to different islands, they see different cultures. Like it's so obvious that no one fucking cares about this shit, right? So I'm with you, Mom.
Right.
I'm with you.
And they were filming the first episode, if I remember correctly. Wasn't it in Africa?
Yeah. That's where they filmed most of it. South Africa. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I think they clearly care. Because
I do agree. Oda obviously cares, because then he wouldn't have made this letter. Because if that was the case, I feel like if he didn't care, Netflix would have done like you guys said, whatever, casted whoever, and probably already released it. I think because of this letter, because we know that it's supposed, like even here it says, since then Netflix has committed enormous resources to the production. It was announced that the show will launch in 2023, but they promised that we won't launch until I'm satisfied. So I believe we might not get it this year, because I do think he's still like, a few things that he wants to fix. But I do like that, he says that everyone's passionate about the series, like you guys said, spanning various countries, to show that this show is a cultural, like, not monogamy, but it's just a cultural...
Amalgamation.
Yes. Thank you, YHuss. And like bringing everything together, and that's what One Piece is, and that's what Luffy has been, right? Luffy, now he's the sun god, everything revolves, like he's bringing everyone together, and that's just the gravity that Oda brings also.
And just real quick, and just to build off what you just said, just think about it. Just him writing that letter within itself. Who's going to see that letter? It's going to be us, not like the people who never saw One Piece ever. Right. So, like
this is a letter to us. I feel like
No, definitely, because like it's not like people who haven't seen One Piece are wearing live action right now.
Yeah.
We're the ones like keeping up with it and everything like that. But yeah, I really do feel like there's gonna be some merit for like us, the readers. Just because Oda, I mean, like, if we love One Piece, so
we love One Piece,
and Oda, that if Oda was just chilling on the sideline saying like, yo, they're gonna do a great job, I wouldn't even watch it, maybe. But he's saying how involved he is. And
you would have asked me. I definitely would have watched it.
Let me know what it's like. Yeah. If I should watch it, that's what I would have said. But now that I know Oda is putting his all into it, investing into it, I'm like, bro, I'm there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm there.
And I think that like it's also telling, because it's just like if he really didn't care, it would just be like I think that like we would just get all this like feedback. What's his name came to the referee a couple of years ago. The dude, one of the directors or something.
Yes, like the director of the show. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I remember that, because Rogers Base and them were talking to him and shit like that.
Yeah, and he was saying like how much of a One Piece fan that he was, and how he actually got to meet Oda. Yeah. And Oda was telling him like, "Yo, this is my baby." Like
that's OD, bro.
Like, I need, if you're spearheading this, I need you to do this right, like, et cetera, and just like, so Oda really cares about how it's going to be perceived, and I think he even cares more, honestly, if I'm being real. I feel like he cares more about how we feel about it, because because I like I said, the perception of live actions has always, even if they haven't been all terrible, the perception of live actions with anime in general is always on the negative or always piss poor because our biggest stains is not even just like the worst live action films. It's some of the worst movies. Period. Like, like just of all time. So the bar is set for this, and Oda doesn't want this to go down in history as like anime fans / manga fans looking at this as another one of those Dragon Ball Evolution things, which I don't even think it will be. No. But he doesn't want it even going near that. Yeah. Whereas other live actions have gotten near it or gotten to the mediocre line or whatever, or okay-ish or decent. But he wants this like.
This to be the flagship. This to be the flagship to change that narrative to be like
right. Yeah. And that's why I'm super hyped, because I believe that like this is already different from a lot of live actions where the author is not as involved or is just maybe green lights like, oh yeah, y'all can do it, like whatever. But Oda is directly putting his toes into this, so. He's dipping his toes into this. So
10 toes deep, baby. 10 toes in. He's right there, son.
Down, baby. Right. So I'm very, very much looking forward to it. And even if it ends up not being all that, I'm still happy that this is even a thing in the first place. So I know it's not going to be Dragon Ball Evolution bad. That's already not going to be in my head at all. But this will be like. This is how I can get my friends into it. So, or my family and all that other stuff, on top of it being potentially amazing, potentially. But
yeah, like obviously the best case scenario is it's a gateway and we all fucking love it.
Worst case scenario, we could tell our friends like, hey, y'all should watch this.
Check it out. Yeah, maybe if you don't want to watch an anime for 1,000 episodes.
Question for y'all. Y'all trying to do a review? Trying to do an episodic review?
Dude, I was thinking in my head.
I was honestly going to do that, like on YouTube. I was going to do that on my YouTube channel eventually at some point. Like do like reviews of the One Piece live action and do some breakdowns and comparisons and stuff like.
I was telling this before. I feel like it's such a big thing, and it's been hyped so much, and like I said, Oda's investment, all that stuff. Like it's not even a side thing anymore. Like like the Sanji cookbook manga or the Ace manga, those all came out, and people don't talk about it too much. Like those are side things, but this is like ingrained. I feel like. So I was.
Ace manga was part of it.
Yeah, I fucking love that shit.
I have the cookbook.
Shit. Oh, wow, that's even more fun. I didn't know you had it. But my point is that let's think. We all thought about them, maybe even read them and liked them, but we didn't talk about it in an episode. But I feel like the live action is so big, like we simply have to.
Yeah, it's kind of like the One Piece community is all looking forward to watching it. So I think it's just in our best interest to talk about it, even if it's like, I don't know if we end up doing it like alongside our regular manga chapters, or we do it at an extra episode, or like break week we do like recaps or whatever the case will be. Yeah, I think it's definitely worth talking about.
The cookbook got it for Christmas. My nephew got it for me for Christmas.
Oh yeah, D3 man.
D3, thank you.
Yo, you had some super insightful stuff to say, man.
Yeah, you did. You definitely did.
That was fun. Y'all take it easy.
Later, D3.
All right. Later.
So, yeah, the cookbook. Got that shit here. Also, I wanted to show off real quick. This came in the mail the other day.
You kind of got to tell us as you're talking because we can't see it in the stream yet.
Yeah. All right, so this pin, someone made, it's pin on pin, and you got each panel of the Straw Hats talking about Luffy, like about him becoming Pirate King.
That's just gonna show up in like 5 seconds for me. I'm so behind.
No, it's okay. It's on a. I'll still hold it. It's on like a 30-second delay.
The cookbook is fire though, man. It's so bright. Have you made any of the recipes?
Not yet. I'll definitely post it when I do.
You got it, bro.
But
I heard they're not bad actually.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah, that pin is. Oh nah, that's gas, bro.
That is I like.
Yeah, and I like the color. Like I'll show you guys pictures of, because they have like a few variants. Like of like Luffy just in red, like everyone in their respective colors, but just in that color. But I prefer the light
like
color,
this one.
the light color with the
And the
with
only
the panel.
color is the band on the thing, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
That's so fire. That's heat.
That's heat.
I was gonna because I changed the hitbox like last December, so I was gonna make my art that exact idea with them all saying like Luffy's gonna be king of the pirates.
Hell yeah, you should definitely do it, bro.
I feel like Oda drew the fuck out of those pictures. So yeah, that's one of my ideas. For
But
sure.
my only, not really a gripe, but my only thing is that like, we don't know if we're gonna get anyone else, you know. Like
Yeah,
as a crewmate, as a crewmate.
right.
So people have like 5-man, like 6-man straw hat tattoos.
That's why I haven't gotten a straw hat tattoo with all the straw hats because
I saw someone get a tattoo of Zoro's wanted poster and put the bounty. But like, bro, it's gonna change.
no, that's why when I was picking my Gear 5 tattoo, I wanted like the Luffy wanted poster, but you know the bounty's always gonna be changing, so I was like, let me go with the moon.
You could just put wanted. And
Yeah,
then
that's
eventually,
it.
like,
You don't need to put the bounty at all, really.
until the end. Yeah, you can put the last one too.
Yeah.
Like when it's done and whatever. Yeah.
Oh, yo, we talked a good amount of the live action today.
Yeah, we said we'd do 3 things. We did 1, bro.
Yeah, I mean, did you guys still want to continue, or should we?
You said you had a game, right? So that's all I'm thinking about.
Well, I mean,
Wait,
we have
you have a game at 2?
No, it's until 4:30, so we still have time.
Yeah, I'm kind of pro. You know, I'm always down to talk One Piece, bro. But
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I'm down.
I mean, because the episode's still live, we're not done yet. So.
Yeah.
All right.
So the rest of the docket, I feel like now that we only have 3, I feel like a draft is maybe not the one.
No, we won't do the
we can
draft
skip
idea
that.
today.
Yeah, we can skip that.
Any crazy hot takes? I knew Mod would be the one for hot takes.
Yes.
No, a week. I don't know. Like, because with 3, I don't know. You guys might even be inclined to agree with me on some of these, because I feel like out of everybody in the Strawhat Sitdown, I think you two might be in the line for this. But if you not, just let me know. But
We will, bro. Don't worry. We will let you know if we not.
Good.
Well, we'll do Mom, bro.
So the first one hot take that I probably have that I see all the time in the community that people say this and I just disagree. And in fact, I'm becoming direct opposition of this statement. I think people in the community always say bounties don't matter and they don't like mean anything to or equate at all to someone's power. I actually will come in the opposite and say not only I think that's false, but I think that bounties actually do matter when it comes to equating to the power of, or like, the threat level or whatever to a pirate, with some exceptions, of course.
No, I don't know how we can disagree, bro. When we talked about the crocodile, because was it the draft one where maybe it was top 30 where we talked about crocodile and Mihawk now and Crosskill, and I think we all came to agree with you on the bounties idea. Like a lot of us were staunchly against it, but then you broke it down with Crosskill. Like that shit made too much sense. So I cannot agree. I have to agree with you, bro.
Yeah, it's just that like, for the longest time, the perception is that like bounties don't really matter, and it's just like there. But in my opinion, if bounties never mattered, why do we get hyped for Luffy's bounty? Why do we get mad for the Straw Hats bounty if they don't matter at the grand scheme of things? Like everybody, when we get a bounty update for any Straw Hat member, that's always hype for everyone. But why is that? It's mostly because it's Oda telling us like where they stack up with the rest of the world and where they stack up against like how the government's perception. Obviously Oda still kind of writes it through the government's perception, but there are some clear-cut cases where like, okay, their bounty is not like up for question like that. Only characters really like that are like Buggy, Usopp, and Choppers, where they're clearly those are meant for gags, and I would even say Sanji's to a degree, because like because I definitely feel like Sanji's the third strongest, but because of the gag of him being behind Zoro, and now we got another strong person on the crew, and not that none of the other ones are strong, but someone that was someone that was a top 3 contender, or someone that could disrupt the monster trio flow. is now has a higher bounty than Sanji too. That's like Oda. Oda is aware of this and he knows how that looks. That's why that's a joke. Like
yeah, and a joke for the characters themselves. You know what I mean? Like, they gotta have some fun too.
And we saw that scene already happen when they got their bounties. Like we saw like Sanji absolutely depressed, right? And I think Zoro even said
Zoro calling him number 4. Yeah, calling him Mr. 4.
Calling number 4. Yeah, like
so some definitely are gags.
Don't speak to us higher numbers.
Right.
I think for the most part, I definitely can't. Like if they heard you break it down for us, like in that one episode, like it's impossible to, in my opinion, like to disagree, because like it's so much importance put on it. And in a series where like, because we always try to rate characters, like I'll give you an example, like the admirals pre-Wano, it's kind of like, how do we, even now it's hard to rate them, but like those characters are like, okay, we don't have a lot of vision on them fighting very much. Marineford was there, yeah, but obviously there's questions about hockey and stuff like that. But in a show where we don't have a lot of evidence on a lot of characters, Boa, the Marines, the Admirals, maybe Sabo, for example, where it's hard to rate people, that's where those bounties come into play a little bit. I might think about it, like how it compares. So I definitely think you're spitting on that one. I'm surprised it's a hot take now that I think about it.
It is a hot take because it's just like, the thing is that like, for example, I was watching like I was telling you, I was watching a top 30 strongest stream where a couple of like YouTubers who power scale, like Power Vision. Well, he don't power scale, but he's theory guy. But Power Vision, Ema D or I forgot his YouTube.
Or something like that.
Yeah, him. It was his video, but he was ranking top 30. But he invited a couple people: Hidden Island, Power Vision, and a couple of others. The One Piece Talk or whatever podcast.
Okay.
They were all power scale and they were doing their top 30, right? And they had to give explanations. Even though and I know like even Missa and Callie disagreed with the crocodile one, which is fine. I think that's completely fair. No one had barely anyone had crocodile. Crocodile was barely taking the top 30, and thinking about it, it made sense because they also included like Lucky Roo and stuff. We didn't do that.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, so thinking about it, if
we definitely do it again. We'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, if all of them were included, it's possible that Crocodile could be pushed back. It's possible, but the fact that for some people Crocodile doesn't even make the list was like kind of wild to me.
What if
it's just like, in my opinion, like the bounty thing, that's not the end all be all. It's just that how did you expect Oda to write 80 billion and I mean 80 million as like the frozen bounty for Crocodile, jump all the way to 2 billion and think that Crocodile is still on that same level as Alabasta? That's like,
yeah, I remember you kept saying that he must have done something that we just don't know of yet to have risen that much. Yeah,
and then on top of that, he's a part of and I know I kept harping on this, but like he's a part of a Yonko crew. And it's not even just a part of.
He's almost half.
Yeah, he's literally almost half. I think that's different than like even like King and Queen and them, because it's like the combination of all those people are a Yonko crew, and it's like now we're kind of taking stocks. If we're saying Crocodile doesn't make up a part of a Yonko crew, then is the government lying that that's a Yonko crew, or are we saying that Yonkos are not as big as the deal as we thought? Because Yonkos is supposed to be the top 4 pirates of like the new world, right?
Yeah, I feel like they don't take them as seriously as the old ones, right? Like that was the whole thing. Luffy's gotten disrespected a few times.
Yeah, it's like a deadlock. Yeah,
and then everyone sees Buggy as a fucking fuck up, but he still somehow is relevant,
Yeah, and maybe there's like a hidden subconscious perception that okay, maybe Yonkos don't matter as much because look at Buggy, but even then we know why. But it's not like out of nowhere. It's not. Warlord is more flimsical of a title than Yonko to me. Like
Agreed.
I think that like Buggy being a Yonko, they weren't going to do that for no reason, because like Luffy was called the 5th Emperor before his time, and Oda made it clear through other pirates and Marines were saying like, oh no, he's not there, or oh, he's like, what? That's ridiculous. Like, stuff like that. Like,
And that was after defeating like Doflamingo, getting out of Big Mom's Island, like
right, Katakuri, all that. And we, the audience, didn't believe Luffy was there, but it was until Luffy split the skies with Kaido that we were like, oh yeah, he's there or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so Buggy being, oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say that like one theme that we've always seen with Oda though, right, is the fact that he likes things in threes, right, the trios, and we know the monster trio of Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. This is Buggy's trio now. You know what I mean? We have big names like Crocodile and Mihawk. So, you know, I feel like we might get an unexpected showdown with fucking Buggy and Luffy in the near future. You know what I mean? I mean, it happened in the beginning of the series. And honestly, in the beginning, I don't remember watching it. I should go back and reread it. Buggy was doing some work against Luffy in the beginning. And what if, you know, like he awakened this shit, or he's broken as Luffy is. We don't know.
I wonder if Oda will ever give Buggy that kind of.
We'll see, bro. I'm just saying.
We will.
Bro,
I'm just reminded of
he's gonna like laugh his way into Conqueror's hockey or some shit like that, bro. Like, you know, like
crazy.
Only upgrade I've ever seen from Buggy is when he learned how to contain a buggy ball inside of his foot or something.
I remember that.
The tiny buggy ball. I thought that was actually kind of funny.
It was.
But the thing is, I'm basically saying, because it's just like, if Oda is saying, or if we believe that bounties truly don't matter, why does Oda still care about it then? You know, this ain't like Dragon Ball where power readings became so obscure that, you know, Akira Toriyama stopped putting numbers on the screen for us. Or saying like, what's their power level? Like, it's not even that. And then, that narrative was crazy because Akira Toriyama always cared about it, but it's just that the numbers will be so crazy that he's not going to do that.
Yeah, so he's like, nah, they just broke it. Yeah, you got to feel it.
Like,
if you don't feel it, if you don't feel it, shit, out of luck.
So he just took it more to a narrative / portrayal / ABC power scaling approach, which is fine. But Oda to this day does not stop using bounties. Even he could have been honestly dropped it. Like, even when Blackbeard, like for example, when Blackbeard's bounty was 2 billion, right? And I thought that was a strong Yonko standard. And then he started listing the bounties of like the other legendary pirates or Yonko and stuff like that, all the way up to Gold Roger, who was like 5.5. That was because if you think about it, up to that point, we were dealing with bounties with inflation. Like, you know, 500 million pre-time skip is not the same as 500 million today. And like, so I like for example, I believe that if Ace was still alive and he was here, his bounty should actually be like in the billions somewhere. Like 1 billion or 1 point something billion or whatever. But it's just that because he was introduced super early and Oda didn't flesh out like what is like the highest bounty someone could be, that's why 500 million, because at that time 500 million was kind of crazy. But now it's not so crazy. But that's why Oda put a cap, because he said the person in history, the pirate with the highest bounty in history is Gold Roger with 5.5. So now that he has a limit, now there's not necessarily a limit, because obviously I think Luffy could even be higher, but now that there's kind of like a standard, a cap, so to speak, now he can fit like, okay, where's people's bounty? So even now, to me, that's even more indicative of why Crocodile's bounty is probably more reflective of his power than even before in the past, because Oda has a cap. He kind of has a place where the best pirate in history is, and so he can more accurately say, okay, if I put Roger here, then Crocodile's here. To me, that should be like, okay, well then, like, you know, it's clear. He's here. Like, he's here. He's a part of the Yonko crew. He's like, this is it. Like,
it's just that everyone's got to see it. That's why they have him off. But we'll see. I mean, He's gonna show out soon. You know what
And
I mean?
and we're finally seeing now, right? Like finally, we know what CrossFit kind of wants to do a little bit. If what Buggy says is what they actually do, because obviously Mihawk and Crocodile probably won't want to do that. But at least it kind of seems like Otis putting them on a war path, a little bit for the rest of the Yonkos. So, man, hopefully we get some actual scraps soon, bro. That would be insane. Like cross Yonko fighting soon.
Yeah. One thing I saw on Twitter recently that speaking on the Cross Guild is the slander on Mihawk's name. Everyone's slandering me.
We're doing this, huh?
Yeah, we're doing it. It's a hot take that's been going on. I was like, huh, they be talking mad ill about our boy Mihawk. They're like, oh, he's scared. You know, he's not him. You know, he's not Hemi Butler. You know, like he's like, you know, like
he's
like,
on fraud watch.
He's on fraud watch. All this, and I just gotta know how y'all feeling. How y'all feeling about this?
You tell us how you feel, bro.
Ooh, how I feel?
I'm about to say.
I feel it's blasphemy. That's how I feel. I feel like it's blasphemy. Y'all, yeah. We haven't seen Mihawk do anything. Just because he's tied in with this, like, this is how they're going to bring him along, that's fine. Because once Showtime happens, and we're going to see it happen, he's going to show out, he's going to show his ass, as they say, and we're all going to end up in this hoopla discussion of him being on fraud watch and not being him and shit like that. All right?
I think this kind of, like, because I did see it a little bit, but here's one thing, guys. The secret to my vibing every single day. I don't read Twitter One Piece replies. Or
yeah, I gotta stop, bro, because it makes me very upset. I'm not gonna lie.
I talk to my buddies about it. I watch a few YouTubers that I've been watching for years, and I know they're rational guys. So on and so forth. So I kind of curate what I watch. So I really miss, like when Mod said that there's like something else that was like bigger and a talking point. And I'm like, how do people think that? I just am kind of disconnected from the broader like Twitter audience and replies stuff like that. So
that's right. I've been trying to get our Twitter game up, so I've been trying, bro. But that's
we got it. There's a lot of things we can do, but so for this one, this is the one where I'm like, are these people bots? I
think so, dude.
Dude, niggas read this and they throw their brains out the window. Like they don't even think, bro. But I feel like a big problem with the hot take things about One Piece is that, like, I know this word is thrown around all the time, but people really have agendas about stuff. Like they have in their mind they see things a certain way. Like let's say for example Mihawk versus Shanks. I'm not going to talk which side red or whatever, but I feel like that's one that has very kind of fair points on both sides in my opinion. And if someone believes one thing, I don't think they're crazy, right?
No, yeah.
But some people have that opinion, right? They think they're on one side or the other, and no matter what happens, they'll see things as fuel for their opinion. So that's what they really mean by agenda, in that like they already made their mind up, and anything they see is fuel. Like there's like I think it's like when you think about like something like, for example, journalism, right? When you're doing journalism, a lot of people, or statistics, people look at for stats to prove their narrative and their trend instead of seeing what trend the stats support. Like I think that's what people kind of do in this sense, where they don't even think about what they're reading, because they see Mihawk say, "Oh, I don't want to fight. You want to fight Red Hair? You want to fight Luffy? You want to fight Blackbeard?" Like that's not like they don't even think possibly about what it can mean beyond strength. Like that, it's like they throw their brain out the window, and it makes it hard for me to want to discuss about it, because like, dude, just read it critically.
Yeah,
it's making my mind hurt right now.
One thing I've learned, like my boss kept saying to me, you know, you think things are common sense, but common sense is not so common. And bro, it is so fucking real in today's day and age, especially like people just rot themselves with the internet, whatever's on there, and they just like you said, throw out their fucking brains, and they're like, oh, you know, if you actually just sit down and actually think and like, huh, you're trying to fight all these motherfuckers, all of them at once,
while dealing with what you have with like Buggy under Buggy's orders and all that other stuff.
Right.
Like, don't get me wrong.
The war against the Marines, like
right, like now. Don't get me wrong. I don't even think it's necessarily that like Buggy is the one that wants this that makes it too much of a problem. It's just like y'all. I'm gonna just be real. Y'all go tier people don't like dealing with other Yonko tier people. They just don't. That's why they in a deadlock. That's
Unless
why the
you're
Yonko
Luffy.
exists. Yeah, true. Unless you're Luffy.
Unless you're Luffy.
Depending on how that goes.
That's why he's the 3's picture right now. Yo, shit.
Yeah.
The problem is you need to actually be able to back it up, and that's the thing. You know, he ain't there. But like, Yonko tier people don't deal with other Yonko tier people. I mean, there's a few exceptions, like you said, Luffy. I think even Shanks could be, because I mean, I've never seen this dude like get nervous about dealing with anyone. He stepped to Whitebeard, he stepped to Akainu, he's constantly looking for Blackbeard apparently.
Yep.
And I feel like it's because, and when Mihawk showed up to his island, I mean to the island he was on originally, like way early on in One Piece, Shanks was with the smoke. He was like, he took his sword and he was like, "Did you come here to challenge me?" Like he just ready.
It's true.
Like,
it's true.
Like this dude is built different. Like I've never seen him scared of any challenge. Whereas like everyone else, they're like, even Whitebeard to going up to Kaido's place was just like, I mean to Wano or whatever. Whitebeard was even back in his prime, was like, I don't know about that one. Like, you know, like the Yonko don't typically, like, you know, Big Mom, when Luffy was like, "I'm about to go fight Kaido," she's like, "Kaido? Can't deal with that monster." Like, you know,
that smoke little nigga.
yeah, like what? And then even when Big Mom went to Kaido was nervous. He was like, Lin, what are you doing? Chick, you better turn back. You better turn back. Like, it's just like they don't like dealing with other, because it could go either way. It's sometimes like it just takes one like wrong move and the tides turn. Even if one individual Yonko is stronger than another individual Yonko, their Yonko crews even things out and stuff. So it could just flip on its head. Like,
yeah, and people don't want to even consider that, or maybe I don't want to be rude, but maybe they don't consider it. Maybe the thought of their brain doesn't have anything to do with that. Like maybe that's the case.
They honestly don't. Like even like back to like it was back to the bounty point I was trying to make about like Crocodile being half of like or whatever portion you want to give Mihawk over Crocodile to like that being the Yonko crew. The fact remains is, it's those two that makes a Yonko crew. That's telling to me.
Yeah.
Like,
no, that's true. You're not wrong.
It's not even. It's not Mihawk plus Buggy's fodder. It's not Crocodile plus Buggy's fodder. It's both of them and Das Bones plus Buggy's fodder. So
Das Bones, baby,
like,
he's still up. He's still there, my guy.
And that's the most on paper. That's the most underwhelming crew I've heard.
Yeah.
Yet they're a Yonko crew. That's telling to me. Like.
It also goes to show Buggy's plot armor, I guess, you know, because he's still there for a reason. We don't know why. Like, he's been tied into these great moments, these great people for his whole life, like, you know, that we've known him, and you know, I feel like he probably will be a key to something in the near, to the final saga.
I'm waiting for the Buggy D Clown reveal, bro. That's why he's so lucky.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
But
that is wild.
No, I'm fucking I'm actually I don't believe that shit. But no, I agree. People don't want to, like, people really don't want to think, man. It's like, until Mihawk says, "I'm afraid of Shanks," bro, don't read that shit like that. Like, I don't get it, bro. But
yeah,
niggas don't want to read, man. No surprise.
Right, but another hot take I have, now this one, I don't know if y'all even agree. I don't know if y'all will agree with this or not, but so ever since the reveal of Advanced Conquerors Haki, people and some of Kaido's statements and stuff about it, people have been, I feel like, running with the narrative that if you don't have Advanced Conquerors Haki, you can't fight the top tiers. I kind of disagree with that. I don't know. I don't feel like, because, again, from the same stream that I watched with the top 30, Power Vision and someone else had Blackbeard at number 19. And That's extremely low to me. But like 19,
Number 19 is kind of crazy, but yeah.
But their reasoning is because Blackbeard doesn't have top tier hockey. He can't show out or anything like that. But and basically they were alluding to the fact that his Yonko position is kind of like low key fraudulent.
Okay.
And it's just like, and it's because he gets like, you know, he gets blitzed by characters too early, and it's just like, in my opinion, it's just like, okay, sure, the hockey thing, I understand where people are coming from, because Kaido said like most of the tippity top of the top have Conqueror's hockey, advanced Conqueror's hockey, and Roger took over the seats with advanced hockey. I'm not saying that that's not needed, and obviously, if you want to be at the strongest, you probably do need advanced Conqueror's hockey. But for people to say like you can't even see people with advanced Conqueror's hockey if you don't have it yourself, I don't know. I just disagree with that, because one, like Blackbeard, sure, he doesn't have it, but like he's supposed to be the exception to the rule, I feel like, because he's the only character in the entirety of One Piece history that had 2 devil fruits, potentially 3.
And every single one of his crew has devil fruits, so he's obviously
right.
Oda's going for something there.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And it's just like, to me, it's just like, okay, if you really feel like, you know, Blackbeard having 2 or potentially 3 devil fruits is not enough to deal with like someone who has advanced comp. I mean, like, how many would it take for him to have? Like, if he, let's say Blackbeard had like 10 devil fruits, 20, 100.
Personally, that 2 is fine. Not gonna lie.
Would
2
it?
is fine.
What you say?
I said I think 2 is fine.
Yeah,
that's still OP, bro.
Yeah, but I was just saying, people were being convinced by Dude's argument that Blackbeard should be 19 or something, somewhere lower, because him without having it. I'm just thinking like, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I agree. That's definitely hot. That's definitely hot.
Something that points against that is that, like, look, for example, like Law, and his fruit could damage Kaido. Like, let's say he had the ability to use his fruit like a lot, and it wasn't as limited as it was now. Let's say he had strong defensive hockey, blah, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, theoretically, with enough damage, he could take down Kaido. Like, because the fruit has that ability to, right? So I feel like people kind of, I think it is kind of like, I agree with you on the fact that it looks like Oda is stressing that advanced Conqueror's hockey is needed to finish off, like get the One Piece or maybe at top of the world or whatever. But to be able to say that they can't see them, like, that's crazy, because Law could kind of see Blackbeard. And we know Blackbeard is going to be one of the final villains. Like, not to say that Law is, you know, obviously like endgame, blah, 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 whatever. But my point is that, like, we know that you can at least fight with people that have it. I feel like that's such a, like, that's the, it's one of those things that, like, showing us that devil fruits have the ability, but what brings you over the hump, you know what I mean? What will edge niggas out is that hockey.
Yeah.
So, no, it's true.
But to be kind of fair, so they say that, you know, the power scaling, One Piece power scaling community feels like, you know, Law doing that to Kaido is equivalent to like Red Rock.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was thinking that in my head. It might be similar to like the regular.
Yeah,
hockey,
not like Conqueror's, advanced Conqueror's hockey. So even then, but even so, I still feel like with enough, because we still have not yet seen in this series what, like, example, Logia Awakenings could do and stuff like that.
They're about to be so broken, by the way.
Yeah, and people, and so, like, for instance, with this whole Garp versus Aokiji thing, or Kuzan, people are saying that, like, okay, Kuzan's going to win, which I do believe, like, Kuzan would be over Garp, but they're justifying it in their minds by saying, well, Kuzan just has advanced Conqueror's hockey then, and that's like, he probably has that, and that's why Garp won't be able to get her. I'm just thinking to myself, why do y'all have to go to advanced comp? Like, I don't think, when Kaido said most of people up top, he didn't say all people up top have advanced comp. It's like, so it's like everybody in their head is like throwing advanced comp, like,
my goodness, advanced cock.
I see, you saw my face right there.
Jesus Christ! Oh, Jesus! Oh,
but no, I see what you're saying.
As like, yeah, as like the go-to, like, oh, if they're this time, they just got it. They like, it's just like, it's so lazy to me. I'm like, no, the Admirals have not shown Maybe
None of them have shown-
maybe Akainu has it, and that's only because Sengoku has it, and like he's the fleet admiral as well. Maybe Mihawk has it because Mihawk, Zoro has it. Some people say Zoro has it, so why don't Mihawk have it? And I get it. Yeah, the world's greatest swordsman. I get all that, but everyone else. No, not everybody has it. I'm just not convinced that everybody up top has it. Like,
no, and I honestly I think he would Kuzan would come back within. This would be the showing of the first Lugia awakening, in my opinion. I think that's how he would come back. You would see his awakening, then that would be show us a glimpse of the Lugia awakening that everyone's been questioning about.
I will say I wonder if because it's like a theory about how broken Lugia awakenings are is that.
I don't understand. They're already broken as is.
They already are broken, but like Oda's Oda's been hiding them, and B look at Punk Hazard, right? Like assuming those two are awakened.
That's true.
Like that's what I'm saying. That's why I think Loki might not see it because he wouldn't want to fuck up Power Island. That's what I think Loki.
But I mean, this would be the time to show it though.
It would be. I'm just thinking like.
And also you could still maintain Pirate Island with some ice anyway. And also this motherfucker dude is an island anyway, so
not fact he could maybe.
It don't even matter, bro.
If we see it now, oh my lord, it's gonna be different, bro. But yeah, Mod,
this is the final saga, bro. They got it.
Facts, bro. Nothing's off limits. But Mod, I actually see what you're saying, and I agree. One thing I do want is I do point out that I do feel like that the stress that about advanced Kakusaki is not entirely the viewer's fault. I do feel like it feels that way, that like it's so necessary, and it almost feels bad because like if you're not born with it, like you gotta go the Dofru route or some shit like that. Like who knows? I feel like Oda. I hope Oda shows us someone that doesn't have advanced, and he shows us like them showing out against someone with advanced. That would be a sick showcase to dispel those ideas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, right? A lot of people bring up the fact that why wasn't all this in the beginning of the series?
Come on,
because it seems like everyone already knew about it in the early days, but they didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean,
I feel like that's so unfair. It's like, dude, he was writing this shit for like that's 25 years.
Yeah.
Like, dude, give him a break, bro. Like, he's not gonna have every single thing fleshed out by 400, 500, and even then, he showed the signs and
there were signs.
Even something like the Admiral's using advanced armament to block Whitebeard's shockwave. On the precision crystal. Like, so niggas want to hate, bro.
You know how I see it. You know how I see it. The moment Luffy shows it, right, is the moment the reader gets to see it. That's when we get to,
agree.
You know what I mean?
We see the world through his eyes. I completely agree.
You know what I mean? So like that, the moment that he tapped into it, kind of like in Star Wars, like when you tap into the Force, then you realize like all this shit, like anything in Star Wars, like anything that has with luck, you being lucky, is you having a little bit of the Force in you. So kind of like that type of thing. And then once you tap into it, then you start realizing like, oh.
That's why it's literally invisible in the free times until Luffy gets it. Like it's obviously facts. Yeah, so, holy dude! I can't think of any more crazy hot takes that are.
Not right now. I think we're pretty good. I mean, we did it. I thought this was a pretty good episode. I think this is a good stopping point.
It was a great episode in my opinion.
Yeah, this was pretty awesome.
So this is the first Loki top tier episode. I think it was super fun. The live action.
Some little freestyle, some topics. Please, those of you that watch our videos, please let us know what you think in the comments below. We don't get a lot of comments, but any little comment does help. You could contact us on Twitter, I believe on TikTok. We'll see about that. And definitely on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. Just let us know what you guys think, and let us know what more you want. And please drop
what kind of discussions, because this is fun, man. Just shooting the shit, figuring out stuff to talk about. Next time we'll have I feel like the best thing to do is having maybe a few days in advance of knowing all the topics, and then we can discuss more, have more. But then again, we literally went for an hour and a half on some shit we really barely got going, right? So
we definitely did. I mean, I just want to talk about the live action a lot, and we really did.
Big shout out to my man Mista for stepping up and hosting and streaming and figuring out the layout and all that stuff, and a lot of other work he does on the side, and that we don't even realize. Thank you so much.
No, of course, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you guys. It was fun. I was a little nervous at first, but we've done it before. But now with the layout, I didn't want to do it without the layout, and because we up for better things, going forward.
Maintain
right?
quality or progress. No other option.
Exactly. So I'm glad we got today off. I forget to do shout outs, but yeah, shout out to Callie Mac's sister. Shout out to it was Cinco de Mayo, so it was Luffy's birthday, Gon's birthday, as well as my mother-in-law, my dog Bella. Happy birthday to them, and
Happy birthday.
thank you, and
Happy birthday.
shit. What else? Well, I think that there was some. Also, it was May the 4th. So shout out to Star Wars because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So, shit.
Shout outs all around, man. But yeah, thank you again, bro.
But yeah, no, thank you guys. I think that's gonna be it for today. So, with that being said, please drop a like, sub, follow. You name it. Please, please just drop it and let us know. We're gonna be here next week. There's gonna be a chapter this coming week. So, and I believe we're gonna be back with the full crew back on Callie Mac stream. So, with that being said, thank you all, and y'all have a great night. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.